Thank you for joining us for the 2:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time office hours session this week. My name is Sean McNichol with the onboarding team.
I'm Colin Stiles with the CSM team.
All right, and right now we're going to go over your TCGplayer Pro web page and kiosk setup and customization. Now, if you, this was an option for you to opt into when you first joined TCGplayer Pro. So if you are interested and would like to opt in after the fact, if you didn't the first time, feel free to reach out to customer service or your CSM directly, and we can get that started for you.
Absolutely.
Before we get started, let's talk about some announcements that we have. Next week, our office hours is going to be a special edition. We're going to be talking about Direct again with Nick Esposito and Derek Preston.
Absolutely.
Colin here is also an expert on Direct, so really interesting content.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Come learn how great Direct is and what it can do for your stores.
Yes, and we're also going to be talking about how to spot counterfeits in the wild, which is something that I'm not very good at, which is why I don't handle cards. So that's pretty cool. All good things. And yeah, thank you. We hope to see you next week. Also, following this session of office hours, we will send out a feedback form in email. Please fill out that feedback form. We need to hear from you. It was because of your feedback that we have drastically improved our AV capabilities.
Absolutely.
We're coming to you and
looks and sounds a lot better, I hope.
Yeah, HD, baby. We are taking this video train to the next level. Getting off at the HD station. So, all right, cool. If you fill out that feedback form, you'll be randomly entered in to win a TCGplayer branded custom art box with cool stuff like hats and t-shirts.
And playmats and lanyards.
Yeah, really great stuff for you and your team. So definitely fill out that feedback form. And without further ado, let's get started.
Let's do it.
All right, cool.
Right. Sean.
Taking it away.
Yeah,
so when you join TCGplayer Pro, you have the option to opt in to a custom branded website that is just another avenue for you to connect with your local buyers. I mean, that's what this is really all about, is being able to connect, get people in your store, get that foot traffic, make the best out of your local hobby shop location, you know?
Yeah.
So let's share our screens here. Welcome to my computer. Whoops. Anywho, all right, back to work. All right, so in order to get to your TCGplayer Pro web page, you just need to go to your seller portal. As you can see, I'm signed in here. Go to your TCGplayer Pro settings tab, and you're going to be able to log in down here. It'll have your website URL and also your website admin. Now, website admin is obviously going to be where you're going to customize your pro page and get your kiosk set up. Before we do that, I just want to show you what the finished piece looks like. So this is the TCGplayer Pro settings page that I have personally customized. As you can see, there's a lot going on here. I put in my own personal logo. Well, not my personal logo, TCGplayer's personal logo. My logo is way weirder than that. This is normal TCGplayer branding. Yeah, so you can get your logo up here. We have our events calendar on the left here. Just another way for buyers to be able to see what you've got going on in store. We've got a couple of links directly to our Yu-Gi-Oh!, our Magic, and events calendar again. We've got a whole page dedicated to About Us. You can create a blog, update content weekly there so that, you know, your buyers can keep in touch with, you know, if you have a lot of you know, employees who are really like ear to the ground with the meta, you know, keep up with the content that you and your employees are providing. We have a link to our buy list here if you want your buyers to be able to see, you know, what cards you're buying for. They want to get rid of like new modern staples so that they can keep up with standard. That's just another way for buyers to see and to get in your store to see what's going on. You can create forms for buyers to contact you or to register for events, for example. You can customize forms. If you're good with conditional logic, that's the way to do it. A link to a page on Gamma where you can upload pictures, you know, show people the fun that you're having at events. There's just so many ways for you to connect with your customers and to continue to broaden that scope, right? We've got our banners here. These are all fully customizable. As you can see, I've got them moving from left to right. Play Your Way, Core Set 2019, you know, buttons that link directly to the category page where they can shop for specifically War of the Spark. These are top selling products. These are all things that you're going to have in your inventory. They're ordered, for clarity, they're ordered by best selling on TCGplayer, not necessarily best selling in your store. So it's going to be grouped by what buyers are most likely to buy, depending on how it sells on the website. You know, if, for example, you have one buyer who is trying to collect, I don't know, the most copies of, what's that rats that you can have any
Relentless Rats.
Relentless Rats. If they want to buy 100 Relentless Rats, not necessarily the best-selling cards. So, you know,
it's one of them.
Yeah, fair enough. But anyway, I digress. We're getting too into the nitty-gritty here. It's my job. All right, cool. So yeah, so that's where that's going to show up. We've got a couple of just special content, you know, pages over here that you can, you know, show off specific cards. Morgan put in his favorite god, Ethrio's God of Passage. I have my favorite god, Notorious P.I.G. Ilharg the Raised Boar. Say what?
Do I get a favorite god now that I'm doing office hours?
Yeah, all right, we'll see.
All right.
You know, what is your?
Man, probably Erebos. Like
yeah, see, if you're not even certain, then
I mean that's fair, I guess. But
yeah, you think about Erebos and then come back to me when he is even
actually,
considerable.
Keranos, definitely Keranos.
All right, that's fair. Yeah, Keranos, God of Storms. But as you can see, also I included a link in this picture because I want people to see the glory of Ilharg the Raised Boar, and it links directly to where they can buy that card. You can do that with all kinds of items that you have listed in your inventory, right? So that's pretty cool. More latest releases down here. This is going to be based on items that you have in your inventory. You know, as you can see, it's not showing Card Fight Vanguard because I don't have Card Fight Vanguard in my inventory, but it's showing the latest releases for products that I have. And then finally at the bottom, there's a link to our social media. You know, they can jump on your Facebook. You can post this on your Facebook. You get into a feedback loop. They're going back and forth. They don't know what to do. And then they just keep buying things from you and posting on your social media.
Great.
It's great. Yes, absolutely. So let's figure out how to get to that combo, right? So how do we update that? We're back on our TCGplayer Pro Settings tab. We're going to go to My Website Admin. And it opens up in this page. Now, I'm already logged in, so it automatically logged me in. You'll just need to log into your TCGplayer you know, seller account. From there, it'll kick you over to this side, and we can get started. Now, I know I'm kind of going fast. Do we have any questions so far?
Yes, there are.
Sure.
Are there plans to add this level of customization to the kiosk page?
We do have some plans in the works for Kiosk. There is going to be an improvement soon. Yes, very soon. That is going to improve the browsing feature and functions of Kiosk. So definitely stay tuned for that. This level of customization is on the roadmap. You know, your own colors, your own links to like cool, obviously awesome cards like Ilharg the Raised Boar. That's coming, hopefully very soon. But yeah, thank you for asking. We do have browse functions coming very soon.
Yeah.
Soon, soon, soon. How many more times can I say that?
Very soon.
Yes, great.
Soon.
Thank you, Colin. All right, cool. So here we are back to our TCG Pro settings page. This is our admin portal. Now, first thing I want to show you is what we have right here on the front page. There's all of these awesome links that are going to take you directly to places that are going to keep you in touch with, you know, if you have any other side questions, you know, after this excellent, incredible segment is finished. If you have questions about, you know, updating your buy list, getting links to the help center, which, you know, we are updating the help center all the time to make sure that it's providing the most accurate content to, you know, keep you in touch with how to make sure everything's streamlined. So these are help files. Our seller blog is an excellent resource. It's going to talk about, you know, just this week, we unveiled Transformers and Dragon Ball Super have joined the Pro Buy list. So if you have a huge Transformers and Dragon Ball Super, you know, community in your store, then now they're not just looking at, you know, your Magic Modern staples and your Pokemon cards. Now they can see what you're willing to buy those cards for so that you can turn them over and keep that product moving. We also have a link to our Gen Con seller gathering video here. We're going to keep updating some stuff. You know, as these videos are in our seller blog, you can keep in touch with, keep your ear to the ground, you know, with TCGplayer Pro Labs, where we announced that we're going to be doing updates to Kiosk and Mass Price. So, you know, seller blog is awesome. And then one thing that's really cool here is the Browse Media Library. You can't see it quite well because the video is a little bit in the way, but I just want to show you that really quick because this is another really cool free resource that we provide you just for being a TCGplayer Pro member, right? So when you open that up, it kicks you over to the seller portal media library that's on the TCGplayer website. From here, we have all of these custom banners that were created by our creative services teams that are usable at your leisure. We've got stuff on Argent Saga, we've got Pokemon, Munchkin, My Little Pony stuff, and you can do whatever you like with these. You can blow them up and put them on your Pro store. You can use them as banners as the background when you're trying to advertise different products that you're selling. You can put them in your store as a huge banner to advertise, hey, Thrones of Eldraine pre-release next week, you know? Not next week, it's coming soon, but, you know, you can use it.
Enough.
Yeah, October is right around the corner, folks. All right. Yeah.
I have a question. Did they say DBS was added to buy list or direct seller?
That is added to the buy list, the
Yep,
TCGplayer Pro buy list.
Yep.
We do not have any new products in direct quite yet. It is still Magic specific,
Yep.
but stay tuned. We're always investigating ways to make that work. So yeah, thank you. But yes, it is available for your Pro buy list. Any other questions?
Nope.
All right, cool. So yeah, that's the media library. That's available to you at your discretion. Go nuts. Definitely, it's awesome. So let's get into the actual work that we're going to be doing here. We have 3 tabs over here: content, media, and forms. Start with content. We have the home right here. If you click directly on the word home, this is going to open up the first part of our home page. So we have homepage content here. And also if you hit the arrow, it's going to open up the drop-down. This drop-down, as you can see, is showing the stuff that we have at the top of our homepage, right? Events calendar, about us, contact us, buy list, gamma, and then some extra stuff that just sort of exists behind the scenes. The product details, the error, the search results, these particular things. If you create a custom one, for example, I created Gamma, I can delete this at my leisure. However, with these, you're going to notice that there are some defaults that your project starts with. We ask that you please do not delete those. That can cause some errors in your page being able to load. So, you know, there are ways for you to customize that to try to make it work. If you have any like really in-depth questions about how to make that, you know, do something that you need it to do, definitely reach out to us if I don't cover it in this content.
Absolutely. Or reach out to us if you just want clarification.
Yeah, heck yeah, go for it. But in the meantime, yeah, please do not delete those default pages. And also at the top, you'll see a name that you don't want to edit that either, because that can just make stuff a little funky. So do we have another question?
We sure do.
Cool.
Garner is asking, if you get in there and mess something up, how do you back out?
If you get in there and mess something up, asking for a friend, yeah. I'm answering for a friend. I definitely did not find it out the hard way. So you can reach out to us directly and we can do a system restore. Try to remember the date and time that the error happened, because it does record that, and we might be able to system restore at a time in between you adding content and deleting important things. Yep. So if you reach out to us, we can get that fixed. If you are too embarrassed to, I believe that you should be able to access a restore by clicking on, if you hit this guy, there's the ellipses that shows up next to home. Do something else. There's either republish entire site. I think that might be an admin thing, or you can hit restore. I'm obviously not going to do that right now because that will ruin the rest of my presentation. But in the meantime, those are options. So where was I? Okay. So yeah, these are our pages here. While we're talking about ellipses, if you click on the ellipses, this is where you're going to be able to create new items. You can create a redirect page. So, you know, one of the things that a lot of sellers do, you know, for example, say you are a certified hobby shop, you sell board games. You cannot list board games on TCGplayer currently, so how do you get your buyers to connect with your inventory? Create a redirect page. Have the redirect page go to your Facebook or to your personal website where they can put in an order or a hold request for Twilight Imperium or the new Settlers of Catan, because there's 80 of them now.
For sure.
So that's one way that you can make redirect pages work. TCGplayer, always helping you and your in-store customers. Yeah. Page as a default content page that's going to connect with for example, a blog, if you want to create a blog. The image gallery for our Gamma page. Whoops, that's the wrong button. This one. Bing. For our Gamma page, see pictures of you hanging out at an event, having fun, selling stuff, being awesome. But if we go back to home, this is where the magic is really happening. So creating banner control type, you have dots or images. That's just going to affect these buttons down here. It'll either just be like a little black dot that they would click on, or it will be these tiny thumbnails of the banner images, as you can see. We go down to the homepage banners. You can create or move around these banners. As you can see, we turned off Dominaria. To turn it on and off, you would just click that little guy right there. You can create a copy of a page if you just need to make like a marginal edit and you want to save yourself some time. X deletes those. The plus sign will create a fresh new one, totally blank. And then the arrow sign will just change the order of it. So those are how you interact with your banners. In order to edit them, if you have already created them, there's a bunch of different ways that you can interact with those. The headline is just showing, obviously, what the title is. Ding, ding, ding. So, for example, with War of the Spark, that's showing the title in the box. Once we go back here, you'll see the message box position. I have it on the left. I didn't fill in text alignment. The description is "Who will survive?" Dramatic, and it shows up right there. Who did survive?
I don't know.
Most of them survived. Who was it? Just Dak Faden that died?
I have no idea.
And Gideon. That's right, yeah. Oh, in the background here, I don't know if he wants us to shout him out here. We have a cameo, Ryan Gomez from TCGplayer Mystic Arcanum, filling us in on who died in War of the Spark. So stay tuned for more content. Yeah, see, yeah, exactly. You weren't expecting this, right? Yeah, how exciting, right?
Always surprising people.
Yeah, exactly. Sticking with office hours, folks. We got it. All right, so so we're back on who will survive. I guess we'll update that later. The button says shop now. It's going to link you directly. We have it linked to our War of the Spark content. You'll see the URL. This is where you're going to grab that URL information so that you can customize those link buttons. And back here, the background image is something that we ripped from our media library that I started off showing you a couple minutes ago. So lots of options here.
Can I add my own custom images? I don't have to just use the media library?
Yes, you can.
Awesome.
If you are good at resizing images, or if you already have banners, you would be able to do that from the media tab. Let me hit that really quick, just for the sake of. I'm going to save and publish my changes because technically I didn't actually change anything. So, perfect. Almost there. Ding, 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 ding. So here we are on the media section. You'll notice that there are 3 different spaces, right? So the home slideshow, these are things that are showing up on home, and it's the slideshow, which is this stuff, our banners, right? So that is going to be where you want to put in your banners, at least to help keep it organized. You'll see, we've got our mobile banners here. The files are, this is information on the files. Discard, go away. We have pictures of other things that we've uploaded, my Ilharg, the Aetherios God of Passages. If you open up images, these are where I put the Pro and the TCGplayer logos. We'll get back to the Pro there in a second. This is an image that shows up if there's an error, if you recall from the stuff that we don't delete, our error page. So Journey to Nowhere, pretty cool, pretty funny actually. Exactly. 404, and you get a Journey to Nowhere, genius. Anyway, all right. So that's where you would upload images for your homepage banners. recommended size shows right here, 1920 by 300 pixels. Learn more is where you would get some more information, kicks you over to our help center. So you can just jump around and get that information and, customize your pro page the way you need to. All right. So featured area position is what is going to show up right here. Currently, we have our Google Calendar. It's actually my Google Calendar, which is pretty boring. I've got nothing going on, no plans. So don't judge.
Only a little bit.
Yeah, right. And then going down here, the side area position, this is where we have You Shall Not Pass, Aetherio's God of Passages, and the Notorious PIG. I added a link right here, like I showed earlier, where you can get your buyers directed to wherever it is that you want Ilhard to lead them, to the Rebel Belt, to the end of Ravnica. Homepage widgets, this is just the stuff that we have at the bottom of our homepage. So the widgets specifically are these guys, ding, 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 2 more calendars and a link to our Facebook page. Also going back, you can add more. There's lots of different stuff you can add. There's, if your Twitter, your YouTube, your Facebook, just a random image and your calendar, there's just tons of ways that you can connect with your buyers, right? So that is homepage content. I know I've been talking very quickly. Do we have any questions? Just throw them out there. Y'all have been really good about asking questions so far. So, all right, I'm going to move on to product menu.
I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay, Colin, let's hear that question.
All right, so I noticed that we went over everything on this front page. It seems editable except for these top selling and latest releases. Am I able to do anything with those?
There is very limited ways to interact with those, in the sense that the top selling products are going to be items that you have in your inventory, right?
Okay.
So the more that you add, the more stuff that's going to show up there. The top selling products are only going to be items that you have in your inventory, and they're going to be ordered by what sells the best on TCGplayer.com.
Okay, awesome.
Right. No way to customize that at the moment, but we are looking into that. We've got lots of ideas. So thank you for your enduring patience and patronage. All right. So homepage content covered. That's a big check. We have another question. I love questions.
So Sarah's asking is about symbols for MTG sets. I'm not quite sure what we're getting at there.
Okay.
So, and Garner's asking for the latest sets and releases that from your TCG channel or the in-store channel.
Sorry, could you repeat the question?
So for the latest releases and the top sellers, is that information pulled from your TCG channel or in-store channel, so the marketplace or?
Oh, okay. So that's actually based on marketplace, and not necessarily your sales. That's based on what items TCGplayer, the website, says, okay, this is the best-selling item currently. They're ranked against each other, and it's all based on what's selling in the marketplace. Like I mentioned earlier, maybe you have a buyer who comes in and they're collecting Relentless Rats.
Yep.
If you sell 1,000 Relentless Rats in one day, that's going to be your best-selling product. So it's based on the entire marketplace as a whole.
Gotcha.
Okay.
And then from Sarah's asking, when you click on the MTG pull down, the symbols don't show the correct symbol for the set, just the M with a circle around it. So she was wondering as to why that is.
Let's look into that. That's a good question. So I think what you're talking about is this right here, right?
Yep.
Aha, I see exactly what you mean. Okay.
Yep. So you have the generic magic symbol.
Yes, and if we go to view all magic sets, then it's still showing that for Core, War, and Ravnica Allegiance. That is a good question, and to be honest, I didn't actually notice that before.
All right, so we don't know currently.
Yeah.
And we will look into that and let you know as soon as we have an answer for you.
Thank you for that excellent eye. Yeah, well done. I've been doing this for weeks and I never noticed that. All right, cool. So actually, while we're on the subject, we are going to talk about the product menu next. Ding. You can turn on and off that category display dropdown right here. And as you can see, when we go back here, it's going to automatically show items that you have in your inventory. By turning it on, you're going to be able to customize whether you want an entire block dedicated just to Magic or an entire block dedicated just to Yu-Gi-Oh, so on and so forth, right?
Absolutely.
And then here's where you can customize to turn that on or off. We've got Final Fantasy, although actually in my inventory, I've already deleted all the Final Fantasy. But you can add one for, yeah, exactly.
You didn't delete it, you sold it all.
Yeah, I sold it all, totally. Mad money here. That's me. Mad Money McNichol, don't you know? Okay, cool. So that's our product menu. You can turn them on and off. It's just like the banner pages. You can move them around, so on and so forth. So let's go on to store theming and settings.
Actually, we have a couple more questions.
Another more questions. Excellent.
Yep. So Garner's asking, is there a way to link your in-store inventory to the web page?
Yes, actually. This is going to be showing your in-store inventory.
Yep.
So if we are talking specifically about your in-store inventory based on what you have listed on TCGplayer, as
in the My Store channel.
Exactly. As my dear colleague and friend Colin here mentioned in our last segment, under the channel settings button, actually, let's go back to Pro Settings really quick. We're under our TCGplayer Pro Settings tab. We can go to channel settings, open that baby in a new tab. Yeah, hotkeys.
Yeah.
We have My Store turned on. When you hit My Store, these are all the things that are going to show up on your TCGplayer Pro webpage and all of the things that are going to show up in your kiosk, right?
Yep.
So the prices that they're showing up at, the 150, I put 150 in for everything because I just needed it to show up. You need to have a price and a quantity in order for them to show up on your My Store channel. We're going to go to My Catalog Only. I'm going to select Only in Stock, apply filters, and I'll just show you exactly where you can verify that this is going to be showing up on your kiosk and your Pro page. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding. So, yeah, I'm getting the sign to dance while we're waiting, but
Yeah.
All right. It's like one of those boxes that flash, say applause, you know what I mean? All right, cool. So yeah, here we are. Under My Store, we have the total price and the total quantity. I didn't update a reserve quantity for any of these, but yeah, that's what we're looking at. All right, cool. So that's how you can make sure that those items would be showing up in your TCGplayer Pro page. Any more questions?
And we have one more from Robert.
Cool.
For the shop panels, my inventory isn't updating to the URL provided. I can change the URL. Oh, that moved. I can change the URL to search into our TCG storefront, but we really like the UI on the site so people can shop while seeing our personalized storefront. How do we get our inventory to show on the TCGplayer Pro site without having to do a redirect? Oh, he just said what we did was perfect. All right.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Thank you, Robert. All right.
Yep.
Good. All right. Good timing. All right. So let's talk about, yes, one more time.
Can you do it again one more time, just a bit slower?
Sure.
To show what we
so in order to get your inventory to show up on your TCGplayer Pro webpage, you need to go to your Pro Settings tab. Here we are under Pro Settings. You need to make sure that your channel settings are on. Here you go. In order to turn on your My Store channel, there would be a button right here that says Enable My Store. Because it's already enabled, it says Disable for me. And then under your pricing, you need to make sure that it has a quantity and a price under the My Store column. Now, to make sure that you have both of those, hit Advanced Filters. When you're under your live inventory, go to My Catalog Only and hit Apply Filters. This is going to bring up your inventory. And then under the My Store column, you're going to double check that there is a price and that there is a total quantity. Okay?
Yep. Absolutely.
Yep.
And then, boom.
Cool. So as you can see, I have Abominable Tree Folk, Absolver Thrall. Both have a price, both have a quantity. And then just to be safe, I'm going to go over here and look up, what did I say, Abominable Tree Folk?
Sure did.
Okay. Abominable Tree. Let's see what happens. Come on.
You can do it.
Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, exactly. Here we go.
All right. Boom.
I can purchase one of 4. The picture is taking an extra second to load, but there we go.
There it is.
Right, cool. Yeah, how about that? It's no big deal. Am I right, guys? Am I right?
I get to listen to that all day.
All day.
All day long.
All right, cool. So if there are no more questions, or if that's all right, let's
for now.
Cool. All right. Now we're going to show you where the magic happens. Am I right?
Hey, TCG
Still
magic cards.
never stops. Never stops.
Never does.
I'm
Puns all
so
day, every
sorry.
day.
Okay.
He's not sorry.
I'm not sorry. So, all right. Here we are under the store theming and settings. This is where you're going to really get to show off your store's personality. This is where you can show your store logo. This is where you're going to update your store name. If you are able to resize, if you already have a logo that is optimized for your buyers to view from a mobile device, you're going to throw that on here. You know, the whole point of having this TCGplayer Pro page is so that your buyers, while they're at home catching up on Great British Baking Show, will be able to say, oh, well, awesome. This reminds me of a magic card that I want to buy.
Oh man, I'm trying to think of an unhinged food related card, but I can't do it.
I know there are some out there.
Oh man. Yeah, no, I got nothing.
Yeah, Abominable Chef.
Hey, no, okay.
Yeah.
Tried.
If you've watched Great British Baking Show, you know Paul Hollywood is an abominable personality. All right. Please don't share this. I love Paul Hollywood. Okay.
Alex wants to know if you're doing stand-up soon.
You know, my doctor told me I should do stand-up. I don't know. That's part of my bit. Anywho, all right, cool. So thank you. Appreciate it. All right, let's go back to the store logo. All right. So we have our store logo here, the mobile logo, as I mentioned. The fave icon is really cool. It's the thing that's going to show up right here at the top under the tab. I got this sweet little logo for the Pro. This is our new Pro logo. The template picker, right now it's really easy to choose. We have default. So we have some more coming out soon, hopefully. Stay tuned. Theme picker, this is a little bit more exciting. I currently have sky and then dark. So the dark is what's, making it that nice charcoal background color.
So day mode and night mode.
Yeah. It's essentially day mode and light mode.
I like it.
Exactly. And then specifically where it says sky is showing this color right here, that nice blue under categories, and right here in the search. Down here, these buttons are sky colored. The footer message is sky. And then the footer message, while we're at it, battle tested, battle approved. That's what shows up right down here. A lot of sellers have used that to their advantage, either to post, in-store pickup only, or post their message, or,
So it's a nice place to just communicate with your buyers.
Yeah.
You know, free spot to just, talk to your buyers, get them to know some more information about your store.
Exactly. If you've got a cool tagline, or if you just one more spot where you can advertise oh, we're open from 5 to 7, we're doing FNM at 6, whatever.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep. I've seen a lot of sort of they're doing a big tournament like an MCQ. They'll utilize that spot.
Exactly. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, advertising events, MCQ. That's really cool. And this is really customizable. You can change the font, the format. You can throw links in there. So definitely take a look at it. Got our street address here. This is stuff that shows up at the bottom. Oop, wrong tab. Let's just get rid of that. Here we go. So we've got all of our information down here, so buyers can find, your address, so they can, pop that baby in Google Maps or whatever. Your email address for them to contact you at, your phone number, store hours. We also have an extra message here. Call us anytime during store hours or leave a voicemail. It's just more ways for you to throw that information at your buyer's face. We've got our email address here. That is actually a little bit. It's an important thing to make sure that you fill in. It's going to start off as contact@yourstore.com. That's not a real email address. Nope. You need to have your own email address in there. If you receive a sale from your Pro site or your kiosk, you're still going to get notified via your sales admin, at the TCGplayer Pro admin page, where it says, here we have 24 orders. It'll go up to 25. But you won't get an email if you don't update that email address. So make sure that you update that. If you're good at Google Analytics, search engine optimization, this is where you're going to put that ID. I don't know how to do that. So I will, if you have information on that, please let me know, and we can work together. It'll be
I learned about it in college. I don't know how to use it, how to do it here.
If you are curious about search engine optimization, email Colin, and he will take care of you right away. All right, so now we have more links to our social media. Here at the bottom, these are just these cool little buttons that will take you directly to, your Instagram, your Facebook. There's a lot of different options, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, all kinds of stuff. And then to wrap it up, you can throw in your fax number.
It's 2019, and I've used fax like 3 years ago.
Yeah, my mom was in a sales job in the 90s, and fax machines are huge. So if you are curious, we'll update a spot for your beeper pretty soon. That's a feature to come. Yeah. Anywho, let's move along here.
Oh, we do have a quick question.
Super. Okay.
From Garner. He goes, I'm curious. After you spend a lifetime placing all your inventory online, is there a place where you can see a total value?
A total value of inventory. Through the seller portal. I don't believe that there is a way right now.
I mean, you could always export your live inventory and total up your marketplace price.
Yes, you can.
Yep. So yeah, if you just go to your pricing tab and do an export from live.
Yep. We can share.
Yep.
So under the Colin, lead us away.
Yep. So if you go ahead and click that export from live button,
bingo,
and you open up one of those, open up that CSV, you can just total up the TCG marketplace price column, and you can see what you have priced your inventory at.
Yeah. I'm not personally going to open up the CSV right now because it is huge. But like Colin said, once you get into that spreadsheet, just sum the column, and then that'll show what you have live.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. Good catch.
I try.
All right. So let's go back to our admin portal. We're on to kiosk settings. From here, this is going to be more important when we actually get into the kiosk, so I will get back to this one in a second. Let's skip that, go straight to SEO. This is where you're going to fill in information on that search engine optimization. If you're really savvy with that stuff, this is the page where you fill that in. Finally, we have our properties page. This is going to be useful only really for auditing any changes in content. It's going to show the date that the page was created, who it was created by, the last edit. This is really the only thing that you really need to look at if you're curious about when a change happened. At the moment, this is really just something that doesn't need to be touched or messed around with. So, but it's an audit page, so that's fun. All right, so there's that. We already hit on media. Now let's go to forms really quick. This is just where you're going to have the opportunity to edit and play with, create new forms. We have the contact us form. That's a default, like I mentioned. Don't want to do that. That's previewing a change. We're just going to discard any changes that I made. Let's go straight to forms. So the contact us form, you are able to edit these by hitting settings. You can create new forms by hitting the ellipses under the forms button. Empty form, comment form, or contact form. I have a form that I created, the register for our next event. They fill in their name, they choose a time, 4 or 6. They can subscribe to your newsletter, they'll fill in their email address, you'll get the email with that information, and then you can hold on to that. You can export the information that you receive from forms into a CSV so that you can track it more easily, save it on your local computer. And that is TCGplayer Pro page. Do we have any more questions?
Looks like Sarah asked if there's any plans for easier searchability on our pro sites. I'm not just seeing all the cards listed for a specific set, so it sounds like looking for an advanced search.
That is going to be unveiled shortly. I believe that is going to be attached to an improvement in our kiosk browsing functions. The specific advanced features, I'm curious as to what it is that you're looking for. So please reach out to your CSM with that feedback so that we can keep track of that. We do have the improved search functions coming with the kiosk rollout that's coming soon. The pro page might be a little bit longer.
It's something we're always working on.
We are definitely aware of the desire.
Absolutely.
Yes. So thank you.
And from Garner, is there a way to put your site on vacation mode?
Yes. Yes, there is. Okay, cool. So if you don't want people to look at your TCGplayer Pro page, there's 2 things that you can do. You can either completely hide your inventory, like we were talking about with the Pro settings. If you go to Pro settings tab, channel settings, once you turn off if you disable My Store, there will be no inventory on there. That's probably the easiest way for you to hide your page because at that point, they won't be able to buy anything. But if you want them to be unable to view any specific pages, say you're going on vacation and you don't want them to even go to your website or your Facebook or something, what you can do is you can unpublish. Let's see. Where is unpublish? There is a way to do that. I know that you can do it for specific pages. So, for example, the events calendar, you would unpublish. There's this publish button, right?
Yeah.
So you hit the ellipses, you go to publish. And it's going to load. And basically, you can set a date that it will publish and unpublish. So that is how you would do that for specific pages.
Yep. And then you can also just set your inventory to hidden if you're going away.
Right.
And you just don't want to make any sales while you're gone because you're not gonna be able to handle them.
Exactly.
You always just set your inventory to hidden.
Yep. So you go to the inventory tab, and then under here, inventory status live, just change it to hide your inventory.
Yep.
So there's 3 ways to kind of do that.
Yep. Just to backtrack real quick on one thing you mentioned with the disabling your My Store channel.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens to all your prices and reserve quantities when you disable your My Store channel?
Well, those will go away.
Yes, they will.
Yes. So if you have a lot of custom pricing for that, disabling that channel might not be the best thing that you want to do. But then at the same time, if you're going on vacation, when you come back, those prices might not be accurate anyway.
Yep.
So what you can do is, once that information all gets deleted, what you would do is just hit the channel pricing button. If we go to pricing, channel pricing tool, select My Store channel just to fill in prices. And then once those prices are all filled in and the inventory is on, you can just mass price from there.
Absolutely.
Okay. So any more questions on pro page stuff or in general, because this has been a very informative session.
It sure has. We still have Kiosk to do.
I know. Luckily, Kiosk does not take too long. We are over the hill for that one.
Yeah, it looks like
hit the important content.
We are caught up on questions right now.
Sick.
So let's
all right, let's jump right to it. All right, so Kiosk. Kiosk is a function of your TCGplayer Pro page. You can't have one without the other.
Yep.
It's kind of like a different face for your TCGplayer Pro page, right? So what you need to do is go to your seller portal, which is where I am right here. We're going to go to our TCGplayer Pro settings tab. We're going to go to user roles. We can share, please. Here we are. Greetings. Welcome to the Pro Settings tab. We're going to go to User Roles. This is something that we haven't hit on yet. So, TCGplayer Pro Settings tab, one more time. Set User Roles. We're going to go to that tab I just opened up. As you can see, we have tons of user roles that we created for testing purposes. I'm going to walk you through creating a Kiosk user. So with TCGplayer Pro, you can, as a business owner, create different user roles for your employees.
Yep.
If you have staff that are specifically dedicated to picking and pulling orders, you can give them access to your orders tab and to updating those orders. If you have employees that are dedicated explicitly to customer service, they can jump online, review your messages, respond to those messages, issue refunds if they need to, or you can restrict access to that, so on and so forth. You would do that by creating add role and add user. With Kiosk user, it's a little bit different. So we're going to hit add Kiosk user. Right now, we're just going to generate one because we're only going to be creating one Kiosk login that is our one Kiosk station. I'm going to hit continue. The password that is required is the same requirements for your TCGplayer login password. It's one number, one symbol, one capital, and 8 characters total. I'm just going to make a fake one.
You're not typing.
Oh, I'm not typing. Hello. Okay. Good catch. This is why we have 2 people up here.
Yeah.
To make sure we stay on track. All right. So I've got my password for my fake little thing. Hello. Whoops. Hello. Office hours. The name on this doesn't really matter unless you're keeping track of a specific kiosk station. This is not forward facing. It's only going to be you and your employees who see this. Buyers are not going to see this name, so it doesn't really matter. And then the email address. This is something that confuses a lot of people, right? This does not need to be a real email address. As you can see, it's at teststore3.com. Teststore3.com is not a real website.
Nope.
This is just the name of your store.com because it functions as a login that is underneath your seller portal, essentially. This kind of is like creating a buyer for your seller account, essentially. So the email address is just going to be, in this case, kiosk1. Mine is Sean Test. And that's when you would create that. And it's going to be this SeanTest@teststore3.com with that password. I'm not actually going to create one because we have enough here. So once you,
enough.
well, I guess we could have 10 more, whatever. Why not? Yeah, that is our Kiosk login. Hitting on the Kiosk settings, I'm just gonna stage this so that we can get a look at it when we're ready. All right, so I've already created my Kiosk login. We're going to sign into it right here. Now, just troubleshooting before it becomes trouble. Sometimes, since I'm already logged into my personal seller account, sometimes you'll find you get caught in a login loop. The way to solve that is to open up a incognito browser, right? If you're using Google Chrome, we use incognito browsers. If it's Firefox, I can't remember exactly what it's called.
Private browser.
It's a private browser with Firefox. So something like that, where it's just not going to recognize what you're logged in as, right? So let's go to teststore3.t. Yep, right there at the top. Ding.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, once we're logged in here, I'm gonna log in at the top right, just to make sure everyone can see that. We're on our TCGplayer Pro page. Logging in at the top right. Sign in with TCGplayer. All right. Now I'm going to fill in that Kiosk login that I just created, okay? So, oops. And then my super secret password. And as we sign in, it's going to redirect us. First, it's going to ask if we want to save that password, etc. And there we go. Cool.
Oh, Kiosk.
This is what Kiosk looks like. Now, it's not going to include this, but I have my whatever it's called, incognito window open in the same general vicinity. So, yes.
That was a great comment.
Yes,
I love great comments.
Yeah.
All right, so
Everything.
yeah, so from Robert, Sean only joined the seminar to get that online inventory sorted. Thanks for the help. Wanted to let you know as soon as it went live. We already made a sale. You guys rock.
Hey!
Whoa!
We did the thing. We also clapped right into the boom mic. Sorry if
that
you're okay. We're just so excited. Thank you, Robert. Thank you for joining us. We're glad. If anyone else has any questions, please let us know. That is really awesome to hear.
Yes.
Cool. So this is what your kiosk looks like. What is a kiosk station? This is it. Let's jump back really quick. You know, as I mentioned, under the kiosk settings tab right here, you can see we have our events calendar enabled. We have our buy list enabled. That's how buyers are going to connect with, it's going to be right here on the front page of your kiosk. I know that this isn't much to look at. Someone mentioned that in the chat earlier. We have new exciting browsing options coming soon.
Yep.
But yeah, new exciting browsing options coming soon.
Absolutely.
Yeah. In the meantime, if you just click in there and hit enter, this is going to show you, you know, it's going to give them an option to like look at your inventory. We've got
There's our abominable chef.
This is yeah, our abominable chef that we mentioned earlier, our absolver thrall, and abstruse interference. It's fun to say. All right. So yeah, totally. This is our inventory. Another way for them to connect with your events, with your buy list. As you can see, that's not my calendar because it's actually got stuff to do. But jump back to our store here. I'm gonna purchase a abstruse interference because Eldrazi are cool.
They're pretty cool.
Yeah. Ding, ding, ding,
We
ding,
have
ding.
a real quick.
Do we have another question?
Yeah, Sarah's asking. I can't remember. Is there a buy list option for just in store?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. The way that you would do just in-store buy list, you would need to go to your buy list tab, and after you build the buy list, opt into it. You just don't put any money in your withholding, basically. Because withholding is going to be, you know, you put that money on your TCGplayer seller portal, and then that sort of allows us to purchase those cards on your behalf through
the direct buy list
through the direct buy list program. So, you know, if you have a Pokemon buy list, if you have now the Dragon Ball Super, the Transformers buy list, if you have Yu-Gi-Oh buy list, we're not buying any cards on your behalf because we don't accept those through direct or trade-in. But if you don't want us to be purchasing Magic cards on your behalf either, all you have to do is create a buy list on TCGplayer and then don't put anything in your withholding.
Yep.
Yeah.
exactly. And then it just will be able to be viewable on your kiosk or pro site, and so people know exactly what you're buying it at, and they can bring it into your store.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, all the ways that they can connect with, bringing in those modern staples so you can turn them over, right?
And people normally sell standard cards to buy the modern staples.
He does Magic. I do website stuff.
I play Magic.
Yeah, he plays Magic.
I work sometimes.
This guy plays Magic. Oh man, let me tell you, I play Divinity Original Sin 2, and that game is driving me insane. Absolutely insane.
Clearly.
I don't at me. Don't put it in the chat. I don't want to talk about it. I don't know why it came up. Anyway, back to work. Okay, cool. So here we are on the kiosk. I'm going to buy this Abstruse Interference. We're going to add to cart. I just want to show you what it looks like when they get there. All right. And it's been added to cart. We're going to check out. Oh, another good question. Related products. These are items that most often wind up in a cart with those, this specific card. Again, only going to be items that are in your inventory. And it's going to be based on things that are purchased on TCGplayer. It's not going to show 1,000 Relentless Rats unless that actually becomes a thing on TCGplayer. I don't think it is. But anyway, all right, let's go back to
I've seen a lot of people buy a lot of Relentless Rats.
Well, I mean, that's how you do it, right? Anywho, so we're going to submit our in-store pickup order. Oh, yeah, we have to do that first. So your buyers are not required to submit, to sign in to their TCGplayer account. They're just going to have to fill in their name, right? Yep. So I'm going to fill in my fake name right here.
Best Planeswalker ever.
Domri Rad, because he's super cool.
He is pretty cool. Favorite Planeswalker.
You think so?
Oh, absolutely. Hands down my favorite.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Won me a lot of money.
I did not know that. I like Ral. Ral's cool. Anyway, and then they can fill in their email. They don't have to. This is my fake email for Domri Rad. Badboy@rebelbelt.com. Am I right? All right, cool. So submit in-store pickup. Oh, I'm not going to go to trash. I accidentally clicked on that. Submit in-store pickup order. Now, in this case, it is going to go through. I have my inventory live. I have that card in my inventory. They'll be able to see their order right away. And then on your seller portal, I'm going to go ahead and close this window now. Ding, ding, ding. On your seller portal, if we refresh, go to our orders tab, you'll see it updates to 25 and our most recent one. Order date. Come on, baby. Is going to be automatically goes by oldest.
Yep.
Domri Rad right there.
Oh.
Another really cool thing about in-store pickups is that once you receive them, you can change the quantity. If your buyer gets to the counter and they say, I actually wanted to buy 2, if you want to offer them a discount or if you want to upcharge them, if that's the case, hey, I mean, it's your business. You can do that here and then just sit and submit changes. You can contact the buyer, cancel the order. Market is ready for pickup. Market is picked up, and that, in a nutshell, that's the kiosk. Do you have any other questions? How we doing out there?
I don't think we have no more questions.
All right. So, gosh, thank you for tuning in for me to talk to you for an hour total.
About an hour.
Almost an hour. I appreciate you joining us for office hours this week. Thank you for all of the excellent questions. Feel like we all learned something today.
Yeah, I know I did.
Yeah, definitely. I know Colin did. And I did too. People are usually selling standard stuff to buy modern. I don't know. Cool. All right. So if you have any more questions, reach out to us or your CSM. If you are up on the what am I trying to say here? Sorry.
I have no idea, to be honest.
That's it. Join us next week for our next direct office hours.
Directing counterfeits.
Yes. Colin did direct the first time with our buddy Nick Esposito.
Won't be there this time, unfortunately.
It's going to be excellent. They're going to talk about the direct program, the life of a card in direct, best practices for RI. Stay tuned. It's going to be really good. And then Becca and Kat are going to talk about counterfeits, how to spot one in the wild.
Yep.
Really interesting, important things.
Absolutely. It's going to be great.
It's going to be great. All right, we're sending out a feedback form with a link to our YouTube channel that will have this video recorded. And once you fill out that feedback form, you'll be randomly entered again to win a cool box custom drawn by members of our team with TCGplayer Pro hats and T-shirts and cool stuff like that.
Absolutely.
All right.
It's good stuff.
Absolutely.
I want one of these boxes.
And there's that.
You won't get that hat.
You won't get this hat. Okay. This is my hat now. I've claimed it. Okay, cool. So I think that's a wrap.
It sure is.
All right, great. Thanks for joining us one more time. Sean McNicholas signing off.
Colin Stiles signing off.
Signing off. All right. Thank you.